So welcome to my kitchen. This is Cooking Today. Hi, welcome to Cooking Today. Glad you're here. We're in football season, which is probably my very favorite season of all. I love it so much. And then you combine it with, the wonderful coincidence that it's in fall, which is my favorite, real season. And I'm just one happy girl. And because we're still grilling outside, kind of getting that tailgate thing going and all that, I thought we should do today burgers. We haven't grilled burgers on this show yet. Can you believe that? We are going to make the best burgers today. We're going to make these blackened green chili burgers that are melted with tons of cheddar Monterey Jack cheese. We're going to toast these wonderful homemade Harps hamburger buns. Little butter on the bottom, of course, make them really, really good. And then to kind of offset all that heat from our blackening seasoning and the chilies, we're going to just sauce them like crazy with a little lemon dill aioli. So you're going to get this spicy, smoky, hot, peppery burger. We're going to cover it in delicious cheese that is creamy and wonderful. And then just to kind of lighten it all up for a little balance, we're going to have those good bites of that sauce on it. I mean, it's delicious. Y'all are going to love this. And we're going to start with my blackening seasoning. You would think that September is like National Blackening Month. It's not. It is not. But I am blackening all kinds of things right now. I just love this little mix that I'm making. It's so good. My husband, I think I said this before, loves all things blackened. And so it's just a really easy little rub to make to go on all things. We've done it on fish. You can do it on steak. Today we're doing it on burgers. Easy as that. The recipe we have made before has smoked paprika, and then a little bit of garlic and onion, and then thyme. This is all just dried. Thyme and oregano. And I've told y'all, I love to do them in these jars, just shake them right up. And if I were just doing this for me at home in my house, I would take this and triple it or quadruple it, and then fill this jar up with it instead of doing one little dose, like I'm doing one little batch of it right now. But I would just go ahead and go to town on it, make a whole bunch, and then I've got it for the whole season, for whatever I need. But for today, we're going to go ahead and just mix a little up. It's so easy. That's it. A little cayenne, that's what gives it the heat. And then finally, salt and pepper. Just like that. Isn't that easy? It's 2 tablespoons of the smoked paprika. And then after that, it's just a teaspoon of all the others. So it's a really, really easy one to remember even. Okay, salt and pepper. And put on our lid and shake it. I just buy these little size jars anytime I can get my hands on it. I make salsa, and I love to share food, so I'll make salsa and give it away, and I don't know, all kinds of things. Salad dressings, that's a great way to make a salad dressing, is you can just put it inside one of those little jars, shake it up, and call it a day. Easy, easy. Okay, we got that out of the way, and now we have our meat. Now, I'm making 6 burgers. I'm probably only really going to grill a couple, but this recipe makes 6. So this is a crowd pleaser. What I've got here is 80-20 ground beef, and I did about 3 pounds. And then this is just a 4-ounce can. Ooh, they're spicy. I have to be careful breathing that in. Hatch green chilies. Hatch is the brand and the kind of chili that it is. They are not around very often. In the fresh, in the fresh produce section, they kind of are here for a little short time, kind of late summer, early fall. And then after that, they're gone. But what's so nice is you can actually get in your grocery store, you can get the ones that are already chopped and in the little can right there. And, you know, you've got the heat. They're so good. They're kind of smoky and hot. Okay, I probably should have taken my wedding ring off. Hindsight 2020, right? So I just have my 3 pounds of meat and my Hatch green chilies, liquid and all, and I've just put it down inside my meat. And it's delicious that the liquid and the chilies really create some good moisture. You know, we don't want a dry burger. We want a really good tender burger. And I'm also just using my fingers to just kind of mix them in, making sure as I go that they're nice and incorporated. Easy as that. And then I'm just going to take my cookie scoop, you know, this big boy, and I'm going to just start to divide up this 3 pounds. Usually do 2 or 3 scoops, and then I just kind of make them until they look about equal, and then pat them into patties, really nice and loose. I'm going to start patties. When we come back, we're going to just keep rolling. We've got some good stuff going on today, and a Westrock milkshake, I forgot to mention. So join us back here in a minute. This is Cooking Today.
Cooking Today, sponsored by Westrock Coffee Company.
Hi, welcome back to Cooking Today. Glad you're with me. We are having Burger and Shake Day. Doesn't that just kind of go together? It just does, doesn't it? For your tailgate, for your Friday night lights, for just whatever, this beautiful weather. I mean, doesn't it just make you want to be out on the patio or at the lake or just doing something really, really nice outside? Well, I'm going to give you a couple things to be doing, and one of them are these burgers. So let me tell you, I had 3 pounds of meat, 80-20, because you want a little bit of that fat in there. But the fat is what's going to actually make those shrink a little bit. So these look like Whopper of these, you know, some big old Whopper patties, but they're going to shrink down a little bit because of just the fat content that we have in there. I just mixed in with my hands a 4-ounce container of the little, you know, the little can of the Hatch green chilies. There are mild ones and there are hot ones. I went mild because Hatch green chilies by nature are spicy. I've never tried the hot ones. So if you're, you know, feeling brave, try the hot ones. We'll see what happens. But anyway, so I have just used my ice cream scooper. You saw that. And what I do, just to kind of make sure that all my patties are nice and equal, is I just start on my sheet pan and I go 1 scoop, 2 scoops, 3 scoops, and I make 6 balls of meat. Then I go back, scoop, scoop, and it ends up being about 3.5 scoops per patty. That is just my way to do it because I really like for them to kind of be nice and equal. Some people go to the trouble to weigh their patties, and some people don't, you know, care one way or the other. My husband, I said that quietly in my microphone. My husband, you know, they just kind of eyeball it and just kind of see. But I really kind of, you know, that little tiny bit of type A that kind of rears its head, I scooped them so that I could kind of get a nice equal patty. Aren't they nice? They're pretty, aren't they? So what you want to do once you get your patties made, and you don't want to just manhandle them, and you don't want to pack them. So you really want to be kind of nice and gentle so you have a nice loose burger. We're not making meatloaf. We don't want it to be really, really dense. So pack them in, or, you know, just kind of pat them in, press them out. You want them to be a little bit bigger than the size of your bun because they're going to shrink. Then I just take my thumb and I press a well kind of down in the center of each of them. And the reason being is because a lot of times when these, you know, kind of seize up when they cook, sometimes they kind of mound in the middle, or they get especially kind of thick in the center. You've seen that. They kind of get thick in the middle and they're a little thinner on the sides. And so by putting the well in the middle, kind of prevents them from puffing up and getting too thick in the center. And so ultimately when they're cooked down on your grill, they're nice and equal. Isn't that nice? Nice and flat. Okay, so there's our well. And then I have got my blackening seasoning, and all I'm going to do with my blackening seasoning is a little dusting. Again, you know, if you want these really hot, you can absolutely make them smoking hot by really loading on the blackening seasoning. I just do it on one side. I don't do it on both. But I just take my little measure here. I got to be careful. And I do just about a tablespoon, like a scant tablespoon on each burger. Actually, I say that, it's probably about a half of a tablespoon. And I just go right around it. And I don't really even pat it in. I just kind of shake it on and it's just fine. Ooh, they smell good. And so we're really getting some heat on these, y'all. Ooh, and I don't have bacon with these. But who doesn't love a bacon cheeseburger? I don't know very many people. So you could definitely get some good bacon going. Ooh, and I would probably make the bacon sweet, like do a little brown sugar on it, so you would have spicy and then sweet smoky bacon and then that little bit of that tangy aioli we're gonna put on there. Just kind of cover all your flavors. Wouldn't that be delicious? Okay, that's it. I'm not even gonna pat it on. I think it looks just fine. And then we're gonna have our grill preheated. You want it to be pretty high. It's gonna be about, oh, I don't know, 500 degrees or so. You know, when you lift your grill lid, I do mine on a gas grill, but when you lift the grill lid, you know, you let a little of the heat out, so it's gonna drop. So you really want it to be pretty high when you get going. And when it's really, really high right off the bat, and there's all this good fat in this meat, you're gonna get those great sizzle and that good dark grill marks, which just looks like a good burger, doesn't it? Okay, I'm gonna let those sit a second. We're gonna go ahead and move on to our aioli, which is basically a fancy word for jazzed up mayonnaise. And I sure love mayonnaise. We love it, we love it. So I have about a cup or so of mayo. And mayo is mayo, not the salad dressing kind. You know how that is. And then all I'm gonna add to this is a clove of garlic, a shallot, we're gonna mince it, and a little bit of dill, and that's it. Delicious, y'all, it's so easy. I'm gonna keep working on that when we come back. We will wrap up our aioli. We are gonna make shakes to go with our burgers. It's burger and shake day. This is Cooking Today.
Iced tea, sponsored by Lipton.
What I love most about the farmers market is the music, the art, the food, the people themselves. That's local, that's Fayetteville.
Local means homegrown.
My kids can run around, they can choose what she wants to get and eat.
I like growing and selling directly to the public.
And the market is kind of what community ought to be.
Visit us Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday on the square.
The Fayetteville Farmers Market.
100% local.
And loved.
Hi, welcome back to Cooking Today. It's Burger and Shake Day. We're making really, really good blackened hatch green chili burgers. And then I'm making this fantastic, like bright, citrusy lemon dill aioli that's gonna go on there that balances out all that hot. Because not only does it have, you know, the hatch green chilies in the meat, but then we dusted them with our blackening seasoning, so they're hot as fire. So I am going to make this delicious little aioli, and we started it already. It's just a little bit of mayonnaise and some dill and some lemon. And now I'm just gonna chop up a little shallot. Pretty small. You can do about as much as you want on this. Not everybody likes a little shallot, that oniony, but I sure do. So those look good to me. I'm just gonna go over them one more time. You know, I always say a mince is worth going back over it, because when you really want it small, you just have to spend a little bit more time on it. That looks good to me. And then we're gonna do a clove of garlic or so, maybe two. Depends on the size of my clove. Oh my goodness, this smells so good. You know, I love the blackened burger, like I love it. But I'm being honest, I think that this aioli is my favorite part of this whole burger. It's really good, and it's kind of a surprise. And you know, I serve this for the boys in my household, and you know, you kind of never know when you serve lemon dill aioli to men, especially teenage boys. They were nuts about it. So, you know, there's a pretty great endorsement when your teenage boys comment on how much they like that sauce. So we're gonna give our garlic a little mince, stick it in. let me tell you about these milkshakes we're going to make. I kind of hem-hawed around about thinking, oh, maybe it's too early to make these milkshakes. We should probably serve them right at the end. But you know what? I think we want it first. And we were actually all talking about how, you know, a lot of the times at those burger and shake restaurants, you get your milkshake first, which is super fun because, you know, you get dessert before your meal, which is what, you know, I wish we did every time. Don't tell my kids. But we're going to make them right away. And they're so easy. Oh, my goodness. All we've got is some vanilla ice cream and some chocolate. And we're going to do some cold brewed Westrock coffee to give it some good flavor. But I've got that sitting out right here because, you know, your ice cream has to get just soft enough to be able to scoop it. So that's what we're letting it do for just a minute. Okay, here's my aioli. I'm giving it just a little bit of a spin right here with my whisk. All of this, you can add more or less of the flavors that you like or do not like. It's up to you. You want it to be saucy and not necessarily spready. How's that for cooking terminology? You want it to sauce, almost like ladle on. Not necessarily spread. So if you need to add a little bit more lemon to it or even thin it a little bit with some milk, then do that. That looks delicious. Okay, let's make our milkshakes. These are so good. These are Westrock coffee milkshakes. So here's what we've got. We have good, whole, not sugar-free vanilla ice cream. You want it to be whole. The richer, the better, so that you get a better texture. And then all I'm doing is scooping until I get to about 4 cups or so, 4 to 5 cups. And it's going to be a very rough measurement because, you know, your ice cream is not going to, it's not going to fill that exactly. So that's why I say about 4 to 5 cups. We want it to go maybe over the 5-cup mark in my blender. This is only going to make like two milkshakes at a time. Whew, elbow grease. All right. I'm going to go one more for good measure. Oh my gosh, y'all, I could privately sit down with a spoon and eat this whole gallon of ice cream. I'm a vanilla ice cream girl. I lied. I'm going one more. Okay, because I see a big old gaping hole. We want to be sure to cover it. Then, all we're going to do to make these delicious mocha chocolatey milkshakes is squeeze in some chocolate syrup, a couple tablespoons, and then we're going to add in 2/3 of a cup of heavy cream, which just thickens it and makes it so rich and delicious. You know, heavy cream, you can never go wrong. Here's our Westrock coffee. I have brewed it. This one is the East African blend. I brewed it in my Keurig on the smallest setting so it was nice and strong. We wanted it to be nice and strong because we're really going to dilute it down with all of this. And then I refrigerated it so that it was nice and cold, like I refrigerated it overnight. You're not going to think that far in advance like I did because I'm shooting a TV show, but it needs to be really cool and then a really good splash of vanilla and whir it up. That's it. Isn't that delicious? And then what's fun, we're going to do a little drizzle of chocolate on the inside of our cup for pretty. We're going to sip on these. When we come back, we're going to have our burgers grilled and we're going to build the most beautiful burger. This is Cooking Today.
Candy, sponsored by Mars.
Hi, welcome back. We're wrapping up Burger and Shake Day today. A great recipe for tailgating or for watching at home or just whatever, just for being outside and enjoying good, pretty fall weather. We have blackened our beautiful burgers that we put Hatch green chilies inside. I just grilled them on a hot, hot grill for only about 2 to 3 minutes per side because you don't want to overdo your burgers. And then I toasted my buns with a little bit of butter. And now I'm gonna put my lettuce on the bottom so it kind of creates a barrier. So any juice that drips down from your burger is caught by your lettuce and it keeps your bun on the bottom from getting soggy. And then, look at these. I just shredded some fresh Monterey Jack and sharp cheddar. And then when those burgers came off of that grill, I just covered the tops and then put them in the oven for just like a 200-degree oven, just long enough to watch that cheese melt. And then looky here. Here's our lemon aioli, lemon dill. We're gonna sauce it. Remember I said we want to sauce. Pretty rings of red onion. And then our topper. Isn't that pretty? Oh my word, look at that. And then we have our beautiful milkshake. Look how pretty that is when we did our chocolate around the inside. We're gonna top this with whipped cream and a little chocolate on the top and call it a day. Westrock coffee feature recipe, burger and shake. Look at this. Try it at home, love every bite. This is cooking today.
Cooking Today, sponsored by Westrock Coffee Company. Kitchenware is provided by Mayonnaise. Groceries provided by Harps, Hometown Fresh. Online Elements sponsored by Fayetteville Farmers Market.